In our driver's seat, it's the 2008 Volvo XC70. This is the third generation of the XC70, and it comes from a long line of Swedish cars known for their safety. Don't forget, Volvo invented things like the seatbelt and the rear-facing child safety seat. But this vehicle is something new and something different. Walked away with many awards after it was introduced at the 2007 Geneva Auto Show. This very vehicle was one that I was part of awarding at the 2007 Mudfest show. It won Best in Class and Best of Show.
Well, it certainly has won a lot of awards, both in this generation and the two previous ones, but it really comes down to all the significant things that Volvo station wagons have brought to the automotive world. This one, notwithstanding, is full of features and benefits. We're going to look inside, we're going to look at the driver's seat, but first we're going to look right here under the hood.
One of the dynamic things about the 2008 Volvo XC70, along with its 3.2 straight six, is the fact that they all come with that all-wheel drive unit, which means that this car can handle on multiple road surfaces and conditions.
Now, before we get to the all-wheel drive system and the hill descent control, both forward and backward, let's talk some numbers. 235 horsepower, 236 pounds-feet of torque, all drive into a 6-speed Geartronic transmission. Now, my own experiences in the car were kind of very good and very bad all in one instance, and I'll admit it was my own driving technique. The first was the hill descent control. I took advantage of that, put the car in first gear, applied the system, and let the car creep down a hill to let it, in a sense, do its job. I was very impressed. But then I had an experience with someone from Volvo, and I had to apologize. I didn't set the system correctly. I threw it in reverse, turned the system on, and then let it roll backwards. Well, it ended up taking out a few pieces on the rear end. My bad. The system worked fine once I had the opportunity to set it correctly. I will say this, for a station wagon, in its own essence, it really is a sport utility wrapped in a nice tuxedo. Now, one of the things I've already admitted to was the way that I treated the back end of this XC70. And I admitted that was my fault, but this one right here on the wheel, that one's not me. We'll talk about that some other time. But really, it comes down to the way that Volvo's been able to take their all-wheel drive system and the beautiful dynamics of the way the car drives and blend it with all-road capabilities. This Volvo does have a little more ride height, a little bit more suspension to it, but the thing about it is it's an all-purpose vehicle, and that's one of the things people are looking for.
Looking at the front end of the 2008 Volvo XC70, a very Volvo car. It has the Volvo grille and the headlights which match the rest of the line of cars. They've done a good job in keeping the image of this vehicle along with the images of their other vehicles, including the new C30. A lot of those features come out in this vehicle. But one thing they've done with this is make it look outstanding. The XC70 is that cross-country vehicle which has the extra valance here at the front and looks a little more off-roadish. You can almost see the skid plates here at the front, and there's also one at the back which gives it that extra protection underneath. But the overall exterior of the car looks very rugged and also looks very clean and Volvo-esque.
When it comes to exterior design, the thing about Volvos is they know how to lay an insignia in the right place with just the right amount of class. Take the one right here on the roof rack and it lets you know that it's an XC. You go down the vehicle and you see these beautiful lines. All the new Volvos have had this nice kind of blended in ideal as far as shapes and the way that the car flows from front to back. I think that it gets away from that standard box that everybody associates a Volvo station wagon with. And as you get down here, you see nice lines, and of course the XC70s get these beautiful body side cattings and fender lips, and once again that little XC on the wheel to make sure you know you're driving what I still call a cross country.
In the interior of the 2008 Volvo XC70, this is something that you find Volvo do very well. From the paper-thin HVAC controls all the way through to the liquid crystal display and analog gauges here behind the steering wheel, this car is usable and has a lot of information at the driver's fingertips. You can scroll through that information here with just a single button, or you can actually get the information up on the center dash of the car and look into things in more detail.
Now that we've kicked Nick out of the interior of the Volvo XC70, we're going to talk about the back seat and the way that Volvo Volvo's always been a very forward-thinking company about how to put your items or cargo or even your children into a vehicle like this. Everybody knows they're safe when you talk about built-in child seats, and the way that they make anything you could possibly fit in the back organized and available to you is a great way to look at it. Now, when you close these doors, one of the things that has to come up to the back seat, and more importantly, the interior, is the safety. Side curtain airbags and knee braces in the front makes this car top of the class when it comes to your own personal safety.
We've come to the part of the show when we talk about our 2 ups and 1 down for this, the 2008 Volvo XC70. It's not hard to find many ups with this vehicle, but I'm going to start with one, which is the exterior styling. They've made this car very modern, but also kept it within the Volvo parameters. Those high shoulders, that new front end, the back end from the C30 really makes this car a combination of everything the brand stands for. My second up for the vehicle has got to be some of those interior things. The well put together materials, the well put together dash, and the well put together HVAC control area really makes this car classy. You can feel that when you sit in the car, the comfort, the materials that they've used, and the finishes that they've used on the interior. Now, my down for this vehicle has got to be something that's really going to hit people hard in the time of high gas, coming up to $4 a gallon of gas at the pumps, and that is the cost of the vehicle. I don't think it's competitively priced, although I think the car is actually worth every penny. When you look at the competition for other vehicles in this class, I think it fetches a higher margin for the dollar.
When it comes to my 2 ups and 1 down for this 2008 Volvo XC70, I'm going to go on my own experiences with not only the type of car, but the brand itself. I had a Volvo 740 Turbo Wagon, a car I loved for many years. And this car is just one more extension of how Volvo, throughout the years, has blended the utilitarianism of the station wagon format and now with their all-wheel drive system into making it a true all-around vehicle. I love that about the XC70. That's going to be my first up. The other up is the low-lying fruit for this type of vehicle, and definitely this brand. It's a safety-conscious vehicle. Volvo has always been at the top of its class, let alone the top of the automotive world when it comes to making sure that safety is priority 1. That's going to be my 2 ups. My down is going to be, well, a little bit on what Nick said. It's the price. I think that the price point on the vehicle is a little high. Yes, you can get an XC70 to kind of fit in a lot of different ranges, whether or not you get this system or that upgrade, but overall the car is a little bit spendy for me. Now, that's going to complete our review of this, the 2008 Volvo XC70. The 2008 Volvo XC70 comes standard with a 3.2-liter inline-6 and a 6-speed automatic transmission. Its standard vehicle price is $36,775 with an as-tested price of $44,065. City mile per gallon EPA rating is 15, highway mile per gallon EPA rating is 22.
The driver's seat is brought to you by Ray Reese Volkswagen, family owned and specializing in Volkswagens for over 15 years, and proudly presenting the all-new Portland Hyundai. Check them out at rayreese.com. Miles Around Television is brought to you by Baxter Auto Parts. With 4 warehouses stocked full of parts ready to ship, Baxter Auto Parts can get you the parts you need when you need them. Buy with confidence from Baxter Auto Parts. Check them out at baxterautoparts.com.